I just wanted to make a short video on the theory that Robin Hood, the story, is a metaphor for the Magna Carta. Um, Although it may be based upon actual band of outlaws, I find it more likely about the Magna Carta thing. Anyway, so if you don't know what the Magna Carta is, it is a royal charter that was brought about King John um, after he was basically robbing his aristocrats via taxes. Of course, there are other things like land encroachments. More and more forests were being designated for use by the king and alone, which did harm the common folk, especially back then. People were dependent on the resources of the forests. Aristocrats in the Middle Ages served an entirely different function than what we often imagine in movies. They were basically like little rulers of their own sections of land. They would pledge loyalty to the king, in which that time honor was a different word as well. The aristocrats had to defend their sections of land for the king. Also, communication back then was far slower than it is today, so it wasn't as governed directly by the king as it would be today. The farther out that they were from where the king was, the more autonomy they might have, but of course, if they didn't listen to the king, that bad things would happen. And especially if they didn't defend their land or joined another side, you better hope your side wins, because otherwise you will be dishonored, which means you're stripped of basically everything: your land, your titles, even your right to a fair trial. So they basically kind of ran stuff. Anyway, the king started to overtax them, and they were very unhappy about it, and they wanted the king not to be above the law as well. So, I'm going to link Horrible History's song about the Magna Carta below. It does a bit more explaining on what the Magna Carta is, but I just find a lot of similarities. Obviously, King John's and Robin Hood, the whole taxation thing. Although they do it with regular people more so than the aristocrats, but whatever. Anyway, so that's my theory, is that Robin Hood is a metaphor for the Magna Carta.